Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Viewer discretion is advised.
The indigenous Ainu people have lived mainly in northern Japan. For decades, their distinctive culture had been repressed by the government, and many customs were on the verge of disappearing. The National Ainu Museum and Park opened its doors in 2020. Known as Upopoi, the facility is dedicated to their culture and identity. Welcome to Newsline In-Depth. After suffering more than a century of discrimination, the revival of Ainu traditions, worldview and language is crucial to dignity, identity and understanding their past.
Shalom, beloved brothers and sisters, Jews and Gentiles alike. Welcome. This is your humble servant, Big Levi. Great glory to the Mighty One. Today is Shabbatai, August the 12th, 2023, and it's currently 6:48 p.m. Eastern Time, pre-recorded, beloved. Thank you for being here. It is good to be here. This is the backup channel. Now we are going to dive into the Ainu, or I like to call it the Ainu people. Okay, the Ainu people of Japan. Now, in the beginning of the video, let's just play it again. You will see this. There's a group of people. We had talked about the Ainu before, and on our main channel. Okay, we had a video. We're gonna go to this video. Let's go to our main channel. We have a video about the Nippon, or Japan. Okay, the land of the rising sun. That's what they want you to think Japan being, or the Yamamoto. Okay, like Yamamoto. Let's go to the first some of the video. We had made this video. There you go. And a month ago. Okay. The sterilization and eugenics of our brothers and sisters and the land of Japan. If you're interested, you can go check this video out. And it's one of the Esau's trouble. And we went to there. We had discussed the whole Ainu thing, the whole Nippon, Japan, and we had the nation were connected, and they knew exactly what they were talking about. So now, before we go further into this video, this is the backup channel that you are in right now, and we would like to tell you the original Aboriginal people of Japan, those people that you are seeing here. Okay, let me acknowledge this. Those people that you are seeing here were so-called black folks, okay? In the midst of those black folks that were over there in the land of Japan, the so-called Ainu were no doubt our people, okay? They were no doubt our people. And you will see how they were dark-skinned and they were Israelites, and then they were persecuted, they were discriminated because of their culture. They were not allowed to practice their culture, especially their dance, the dance and circle. Now watch this.
The indigenous Ainu people
All right,
have lived
look at
mainly
this.
in northern Japan.
All right, look at this brother right here. Look at this brother with his beard right
their
there.
distinctive culture
Okay.
had been repressed by the government.
So the government of Japan, aka the church over there, the priest of Mahan church, the government of Japan repressed their culture. Some of you were very well versed about Japan. Japan always want to promote the Japanese culture. They always want to promote and guard it, and they are very proud of their culture. But yet there's a culture within their culture they despise and repress it, and those people were being killed. Eugenics was in the midst of them, and we talk about this. There's a video of them apologizing for the inferior race they euthanize and kill them. Most of them, if not all of them, but most of them. The indigenous people are still over there in Japan. Okay.
and many customs were on the
Okay.
verge of
Look at this sister right here. Okay. All right. Look at this sister right here. Those were the original Japanese. Okay. That looked like a sister you walk down there in Detroit, in Chicago, in Little Haiti. A sister you just walk down there in Brooklyn, New York, Bronx, Los Angeles, and Texas, and Louisiana, Mississippi. You can see her. Okay. Look at their clothes. Look at their dance.
disappearing.
Okay. Look at their
The
dance. So
National
now, this is the Ainu people, or the Ainu people. Okay.
Ainu Museum and Park opened its
Hang on,
doors in
let's watch
2020,
this again. Look.
and many customs were on the verge of disappearing. The National Ainu Museum and Park opened its doors in 2020.
Okay, so now you got those people dressed as the Ainu folks. They call themselves Upapoi, and they are practicing the dance. And I don't know, could they be the descendant of the real Ainu? Could they? But you can see the rhythm that the Ainu people had when they were dancing. It's not the same thing as this. Okay? All right, but nonetheless, hey, let's keep on digging.
Known as Upopoi, the facility is dedicated to their culture and identity. Welcome to Newsline In-Depth. After suffering more than a century of discrimination, the revival of Ainu traditions, worldview and language is crucial to dignity, identity and understanding their past.
Anytime you hear any place is trying to make some, this is a form of mea culpa right there. This is a form of apology. This is a form of, hey, we kind of like sorry, and then, in 2020, we know the whole thing went down, so we're gonna make a museum and just like you got, you know what, let's give you guys Juneteenth. This is the Japanese version of Juneteenth. Okay, we knew we F you guys up. We enslave you, we beat, rape, and rob you, we euthanize and kill you. And here's a holiday. Here's a museum. Here's a statue of that guy we kneel on his neck and wearing a tank top, or yeah, that will make up for everything. So anytime you hear culture in any land are discriminated against their culture, they are discriminated against their custom, the way they dance and pray. Those are in fact our people, because once we start praying and dancing, the vibration, the rhythm, it raises something. The frequency is raising, and the Holy One hears, and the angels obey, and the forces of light and the forces of darkness obey. They work in tandem for us. That is why they forbid, they beat, they stole, they swagger jack and poison, and they profane our cultures and telling you like, oh well, you came from Africa. That's all. That's all. Everything Africa. You were born in Africa, raised in Africa, enslaved in Africa, and that's it. No, we were all over the world. We ruled the so-called continent of Africa, but we are all over the world. We were all over the world. We still all over the world. We're scattered, and we don't look the same. All right. So now those people, they start to give them a little break.
NHK World's Yoshioka Takuma visited Upopoi to explore how younger generations of Ainu people are working to safeguard their culture for the future.
Of course.
Upopoi is an Ainu word that means singing together in a large group.
Okay, singing together in a large group, and that's not, well, that's not what that is. Those people are trying to make up. This is like hip hop, man. This is what you are watching here. This is K-pop. This, they took pop music, hip hop, and then they dress like us and imitate us, and then claim it's them. Or K-pop. Oh, we invented K-pop. We invented this thing. As you can see, those people are trying to do the drumming thing and stuff like that, like our people used to do, and then they claiming that, hey, it is them, and they claiming like dancing in circle and stuff. No, this is the beating of the drum which is frequency and vibration, raising the rhythm, raising the frequency by playing the rhythm, and then things will obey. It was a sacred culture of all people, but hey, they want to call it, oh well, dancing and chanting in circle. Yeah, whatever, man.
The sprawling facility is in Hokkaido, Japan's northernmost main island, the heart of the Ainu's ancestral homeland. The site features traditional houses called chise. The Ainu had an oral culture. Folk tales have been passed down through generations. Intricate, detailed descriptions of a world of deities and their interaction with humans.
When Ainu listen to a story once, they remember it. They are very good at conveying it to others with their own words.
Listen to the rhythm. Listen to the rhythm of the song. Well, they're always trying to make this thing, oh, a deity is believed to reside in the heart of the fire is never extinguished. No, they know the fire is the representation of the Holy One. Okay, the fire, the prime element, the first element that came out of the akasha or ether. Okay, fire was the firstborn, water the secondborn, air is the thirdborn, and earth is the lastborn, the fourthborn. You have all of them in you, in your body. Your body has fire, water, okay, air, and earth, and of course the spirit in you, the soul or whatever you want to call it. It's the ether, aka the spirit. All right. A lot of people don't have that. There are certain people walking around here. They only have one element in their body. They are not people like you. They are one element, no soul, no ether in them. Most people do not have ether in them. They don't have the spirit of God in them. They are not spiritual people. Some of them have two element, barely. Some of them have four element, but most of them do not have ether or akasha in them. The prime spirit of God, they don't have it. If you study with us, you'll know a lot of people, especially 83, they don't have that in them. That's why in the Bible they say the truth is not in them. They are not talking about especially the truth, so to speak, about who we are or what is true or false. They're talking about the spirit of God, which is not in them. That's why John said, test the spirit. When you test those people, they are non-spiritual people. Okay? Spirit mean ether, akasha, the prime essence of the mighty one, of divine providence. They don't have it. And those folks know the prime essence live in the fire, the firstborn. That's why the mighty one told Solomon, okay, I agree, build me this house, build me this temple, and I will dwell in the thick darkness. Fire shine brighter when it's in darkness. It's a codex word, we studied that. Okay, that's what's happening here. That's nothing they believe a deity believe to reside in there. They know the Most High is in the fire. Fire is a form of communication. Fire, when you have a candle lit upon in your house, you open a spiritual door in your house, and you can speak to whatever is on the other side, whether it's your guardian angel, hopefully that's what that is, or the other side. Okay, not deity. They are well aware of that. Okay, this is the musical instrument. Who play rhythm like that?
The Ainu believe spirits dwell in every part of the natural world, in the lake, in the forest, the wind, and animals.
Yes, the four elements. They dwell on the earth. Okay, the Noms. They dwell in the air, the sylph. They dwell in nature, the nymph, the others, and the satyrs, and they dwell in fire, the salamanders, and they dwell in water, the undine, the mermaids, whatever you want to call them. They're well aware of that, just like our people well aware. But they always, when our people say things like that, they say, "Oh well, this is witchcraft. You trying to practice? Those people are practicing witchcraft. Kill them, kill them." That's the Catholic Church, and you have people that look out like us, the one element folks. The non-eater folks, they have one element in them, and they are unbalanced. They will quickly say, "This is devil." They play music with the mouth, and so that's devil. That's the thing of the devil over there. Okay.
You can feel it everywhere here. Upapoi offers visitors the opportunity to experience Ainu culture firsthand.
It was a very valuable experience.
I haven't learned much about it in school.
Of course, you will not. Of course, you will not learn a lot. This is supposed to be Japanese culture, but they not learning it in school. Why would 83 do this? Why would they teach you that in school? Those are very obscure people over there in Japan. Why would they go over there and teach you that in school? Just like over here. Why would they be in the school and teach you that you are the original habitant of all lands? They're not going to teach you that. They're not going to teach any of that. Then again, beloved, I'm not saying every single people that are over there in this community, the Ainu community, are not Ainu. I don't know. But I know for a fact the original were all people, and I respect whoever is over there doing this thing. I have no idea. Only the mighty one knows. The only way to find out is to go over there, literally, interview them and feel the spirit. Or you can, meditation and see this here.
It really stirred my imagination, and I thought, this is the culture of the Ainu. I want to hear more about this culture.
Upapoi was established because the Ainu culture is in danger of disappearing.
Danger of disappearing? Why? Why was it in danger of disappearing? What caused it? But those people were there peacefully doing their stuff, but suddenly they don't want them to practice the culture. Why?
In the late 1800s, as Japan moved to become a modern nation state, the government...
Okay, this is the spiritual drinking. This is the Eucharist right there. The spiritual drinking of the wine, the tea, the spiritual, the sacred ceremony of drinking the tea, the sacred ceremony of drinking the wine, the sacred ceremony of eating the bread. Eucharist, that's what that was, or Eucharist.
And imposed a policy of assimilation. The Ainu lived mainly by fishing and hunting, but the government banned those practices in the name of resource protection.
In the name of resource protection. You got a small group of people that live on fishing and hunting, and you ban that. If you see them fishing, if you see them hunting, you kill them. You can get killed for this. They need now to get a job. They need to come into you and get a job and leave. It's pretty much the same thing here in the US or wherever our people are dwelling. Lord forbid they find a black man or so-called Israelite family and or living off grade. People think off grade is for everyone. Wait until those people find you living off grade. You living off grade and you living from fishing and hunting. Your family is there. You completely independent. There will be laws. Make sure, look, if at least a fair amount of our people or start living off grade and living in small community, they will have law against that. They don't have law now. Even if they have them, they are not reinforcing them. But wait until our people get together, start building things outside of those people or society. They will ban and come up with laws, say, oh, you can do this because they're just fishing. The fish is from nature. It's free. They're just hunting. The animals who's on the land, they're on the entire land. Okay? But it's been banned. Over here too, you can't go around and fish like that. You can't go around and hunt like that. You need a license to fish on your own land. You need a license to hunt on your own land.
Ainu children were forced to take classes in Japanese in school.
They were forced to take classes in the Japanese language because the so-called Japanese they're speaking now and the Chinese they're speaking now are not the original language of China or Japan. Why would they force them to take classes in Japan and in the Japanese language? Because they are two different people. A group of people came into upon the land. They saw those people live peacefully here. And then they force them to assimilate. Become like us or die. That's what that was. That's what that is. Okay?
Ainu were stigmatized. Many concealed their identity in an effort to avoid discrimination.
Yes, just like a lot of our
Today,
people.
there are
Just like a lot of people conceal. You got a lot of our people back then. They didn't look completely black. They were light skinned and they hide their identities, okay? So they won't be scrutinized. You have people that were jet black. They said, "Who are you?" They say, "I am African." I'm not like those Negroes that you people. I'm like for you people. I'm African. I'm from this Africa place, and they give a name because they don't want to be scrutinized and brutalized and worse, killed.
only a handful of people who speak Ainu. So Upapoi plays a critical role.
Okay, look at this dude right here. Look at the facial feature. Okay, look at this dude right there. Okay, those were original people. Okay, they were not allowed to speak the original language. Let's listen again.
To take classes in Japanese in school. Ainu were stigmatized. Many concealed their identity in an effort to avoid discrimination. Today, there are only a handful of people who speak Ainu, so Upapoi plays a critical role. Look at this information board. The letters are Japanese, but the words are Ainu.
Yes, yes. Okay, Khotan. All right, traditional Ainu village. Okay, they what they do. Those people are very good at that. They imitate your language. They come up with a copy of it. They copy everything that you do, whatever that they too hard for them to do. They just drop it and then they claim this is their language. Okay.
They come first above all other languages.
Okay. So,
In
all
its
right.
museum,
Now watch.
Ainu.
The first here is the original Ainu. This is the original Japanese writing. You see how the simplification go, and then this is the other. This is the modern Japanese, okay, and this is the English version, Khotan, traditional Ainu village, and this is I believe Chinese, Khotan, okay, Khotan. This is Chinese, and the bottom is Korean. All right, look at this. Look at this language over there. It doesn't look like one of those things. Okay, it doesn't look like this. All right. So those people they come upon the land, the land. They come upon the land of the people that was on the land. They force them to go to their school. They ban their cultures. They threaten them, and then now they are making this mea culpa and stuff. And yeah, whatever.
They come first above all other languages. In its museum, Upapoi has a modern exhibition room where visitors can get a sense of life from an Ainu perspective. They hunt it with bow and arrow. Curator Yabunaka Takeshi believes the range was just a few meters. For Ainu, that meant getting close to their sacred creatures.
Deities came down to the human world with fur and food as gifts. So people who hunted a lot of prey were said to be loved by the deities.
Again, when they're talking about deity, beloved, they are talking. Those people like to make it seem there are so many gods out there, and they're talking about intelligences. They're talking about the animals. Okay, now look at the patterns on those clothes. Who design? This is like some high quality fashion there. Who design things like this? Some high quality fashion, man. Who wear clothes like this? Those are high quality fashion, man.
About 700 items are on display here. They include traditional clothes and tools for both ceremonial and daily use. Many items were donated by individuals and local museums. This is an ancient dugout canoe that has been unearthed. The Ainu used these to sail many kilometers over open ocean and trade with mainland Japan. Another key part of Upopoi's mission is to revive lost traditions. These bear ornaments were used in a ritual called Iyomante. They were used mainly on the island of Sakhalin, north of Hokkaido.
Okay,
A
look at the
brown
rhythm.
bear was sacrificed, and the Ainu believe its spirit was sent back to the deities.
Okay, look at the rhythm. Immolation. They were forbidden of practicing immolation. And then again, those people will come and then give you all sort of things, say, oh, well, it was a bear. It could be anything. Our people were doing immolation for the Most High. We learned that this was banned and forbidden. And people are like, well, the animal, they have life too. We are above any freaking animal. We are God upon this earth. You side with the animal because you are an animal. We are above that. This is not pride, but it is the truth.
Thank you so much for having time for us. One young Ainu had a strong passion to restore the ornaments. That was Yamamichi Yomaru. Since most of the knowledge and skills of making them were lost, Yamamichi searched and read old records.
Okay, so this guy, the knowledge were lost, everything were lost. He actually made a research, and then he literally remake them by hand. Okay, he remake them by hand because everything was destroyed, just like over here, just like all over the world. Okay, they destroy everything. The only thing they will allow so-called black people to do is African culture. Try to go to Africa and then wear some African clothes. Oh, people, they will raise you and say, well, yes, wear that. That's your culture. You know what? Here's some money. Go over there. Here's a TV show. Promote this thing. Promote this thing. Try to do anything other than else. Oh, well, you're trying to steal people culture here. You're trying to do this. This is not your culture. Come up with something they don't know. They will claim it as theirs. The expert believe that the ancient woman came here and civilized those people and stuff, and this and that. Try to make it theirs.
It took 2 years to finally recreate the sacred items.
I remember a sense of achievement when I completed them. I worked with researchers to revive as much as possible the techniques used to make the ornaments.
Raised in an Ainu family, Yamamichi has been learning about his people's culture since he was a child. He is now trying to master Ainu crafts. Today, Yamamichi is making a dugout canoe using traditional tools. He studied a completed canoe that was built decades ago.
When I look at old canoes, they are so beautiful, so I am convinced that the Ainu of the past were master craftsmen.
Yamamichi has another mission.
Think of it as practice, to learn how to carve with an adze yourself.
He needs to pass on to others the skills used to make traditional products.
The younger generation should acquire as many skills as possible, and then we can pass on our techniques. Then we can promote Ainu culture to many people.
For Yamamichi too, preserving the past will ensure their culture has a future.
I want to know what my ancestors have done. I think that by reviving the culture, we can preserve such information and pass it on to the next generation.
Okay, a peaceful people living peacefully upon a peaceful land.
Yamamichi feels reviving his culture will help people throughout Japan gain a better understanding of the Ainu. and help create a society where Ainu no longer feel the need to conceal their identity.
I think there are still people who can't say proudly that I am Ainu.
They can't. Just like you have people over here that, they can't say, hey, I'm an Israelite. I'm the descendant of the original one. They can't say that. They still shame. They're like, well, I'm not an Israelite. I'm an American. I'm a Christian. I'm a Catholic. I'm a Muslim. Above all, I'm an African. Above all, I'm a human being. I'm a human, like everybody working here. Yeah. Everybody working here are not human. Not all of them.
And perhaps society isn't quite ready to accept them yet. I think it would be wonderful
after
if
100
our
years.
society could become one where all Ainu can reveal who they are and be proud to be Ainu.
Okay, they are dancing in a
For
circle.
more
Who
on
do
this,
that?
I'm joined by my colleague Yoshioka Takuma, who covered the story. So Takuma, your report shows us the importance of preserving history and being proud of who you are. That is also a large part of Upopoi's broader mandate. How far has it come in that regard?
I must say, beyond Upopoi, the Ainu people are still suffering from discrimination. There have been cases over the last several years of some high-profile, hurtful remarks in public.
Okay.
Although the harsh...
People always saying like the Japanese are the most polite people. You have no idea what the Japanese are capable of, man. You have no idea what the Japanese have done. It is said the Japanese did worse than what Charlie Chaplin did when they went in China upon all people over there. With the Chinese. With the original Chinese that was living upon the land. We don't know their name. And they banded together with their brethren, the other Chinese. They destroy our people. Those people they are capable of a lot of things. And they're like, okay, well, the Japanese, they don't curse. They're very polite to each other. But when it comes to other people, hey man, it'll show you who they truly are.
Reality persists. Upopoi tells me that their programs have offered employment opportunities to a number of young Ainu people. The director of the museum says ideally staff would communicate in the Ainu language with pride and confidence at Upopoi in the near future. And he hopes that ideal would expand beyond the facility.
Then what more needs to be done to see their goals reflected in the broader society as a whole?
The director admits a gap remains between Upopoi's ideal and reality. For example, 3 years ago, not long after Upopoi opened, the director told me that he eventually wants to hand over the operation to young Ainu, like Ainu staff. When I interviewed him this time, he had this to say.
There are not so many employees who can be entrusted with all operations immediately, but more young people are gaining experience. So I think that eventually we should create a system that will allow such people to run Upopoi themselves.
However, there is no specific time frame for creating that system for Ainu to run Upopoi on their own.
All right. You see it everywhere. Even though this is not, I would say, this is not the Ainu doing, okay? The Ainu people, they are not, they don't have the money to do this thing, okay? This is a form of, again, mea culpa, all right? Let's define the word mea culpa. It's a saying, okay? What is this? There's an airplane lost in the Pacific Ocean? Well, anyway, hang on. What does mea culpa means?
Through my fault. According to Merriam-Webster, mea culpa, which means through my fault in Latin, comes from a prayer of confession in the Catholic Church.
Okay.
Said by itself, it's an exclamation of apology or remorse that is used to mean, it was my fault, or I apologize.
Yeah.
Mea culpa is also a noun, however.
Okay. That was a form of apology, okay? A form of prideful apology. I apologize without apologize. I build you guys this, because of all the terrible things that I've done unto you. Now I'm building you this museum, and then I believe young people, the old cannot be here and teach you the ancient one. Let the young teach the young, okay? And we don't really want you to learn about from the old, you know, and things like that. Yeah, whatever.
Definitely, there is a lot more work to be done, including young people's training and capacity building, and that includes managerial training as well. That is why there needs to be a system to make that happen.
For empowerment. What will be your lasting impressions from your visit to Popoi?
Right. We often talk about the importance of upholding diversity in our society, but I think saying that is easy. But doing it is another thing.
This is another world right there. Okay, the Japanese, oh man, we are the Japanese and the culture and all that. We upload diversity. We love everyone, well, except for the Ainus, except for the original people of Japan. You know, the people that swagger jack the land and stuff like that. You know, the white man can come in Japan. No problem. Just come chill here. All the people come chill. But the moment a black fellow show up, sir, can we see your hand, please? Can we do this? Can we do that? Because they are very uncomfortable around you. Because they know what they've done. And they make some kind of, hey, it's my fault. We're good, Nigoni. We're good. We're going to party, drinking, listen to some hip-hop, smoking a doobie. Huh?
The more I know about the Ainu, the more I realize there is a lot to learn. But at the same time, I felt it was such a joyful experience to immerse myself in a different culture, especially since I feel there is a lot we can learn from the Ainu's world view.
Okay, a different culture, because this is not the typical Japanese culture. All those anime that you're watching, it's not true Japanese culture. All those ancient, the Edo era, all those ancient Japanese, that's not their culture. That's not the original culture. All right? They are well aware of that, okay?
They put great importance on the connections with deities in nature and our daily lives. In modern terms, you could think of that perhaps as our relationship with the environment. I spent only a few days at Upopoi, but the entire experience drew my attention to things that should really matter in life.
Such a reminder of important things.
Exactly.
Thank you very much
for
sharing with us your story.
All right then. There you go. Is that thing recording? Is it? Yes, it is recording. Yes. So now, beloved, you see the Ainu, the story of the Ainus, and the original people that were living in the land of Japan, in the specific part of Japan. There are many others, original people that were in Japan. They're being eliminated. Somewhat the Ainu, okay, they survive. Okay, they survived the culture, but most of them, the culture had been poisoned, and the culture had been destroy and modify and call it like samurai and so. The whole samurai culture is not the original culture of the so-called people over there. Okay, so that's what I wanted to bring. And there's something I wanted to talk about, the leprosy and things like that, but I'll make another video about that. But then again, beloved, this information that we just discussed here, and I'll ask the nation to pray about it, okay, meditate about it, you know. And we have a sister that connected herself, you know, to those people. We have other people, even way before that, that connected to those people. Then again, our people, we make everybody. We make every people. Okay, we are very diverse when it comes to our DNA. So we need our beloved brethren, the brothers and sisters, to pray, to meditate. Okay? Start praying, start meditating, man. When you wake up in the middle of the night, start praying. All right? With this, we'll leave you with peace, the Jews and the Gentiles alike. Shalom.